Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? We're back again with a daily Kaspa crypto live stream, and as you can see from the thumbnail and title, we have not got great news for today's stream. In all honesty, we have got the verdict, the announcement from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. The FOMC meeting and statement has just concluded. And as a result of his announcement, the markets are starting to correct. Now, I have made a bit of a recovery already. We saw Kaspa come back down and touch this level of support here around 8.8 cents. So coming just below 9 cents before now going back up. But even then, Kaspa right now is down 3.35% on the daily time frame, valued at 9.2 cents. Bitcoin still trying to hold quite strong right now between this, again, this area that I drew out yesterday, between the $120,000 to $116,000 price target. This zone right here did come down and touch the 116k zone before then making a bit of a recovery. Even though Bitcoin's down minus 0.69%, Ethereum also down minus 0.49%. Truth be told, I think we saw a big backlash off the back of Jerome Powell's statement, his what he stated in the meeting, which we'll get into what he said in a very short moment, the outlook of what was said in the meeting, and the markets are correcting as a result. The BEC is doing fantastically, actually, currently up 6.7% on the daily time frame, which I did make a video on my channel literally earlier today covering the BEC as well. So if you haven't watched that, tune in and find out what we're talking about, because there is a lot coming to the BEC in my belief, and I think the BEC's due for quite a big rally. Even off the back of this announcement as well, but we'll get into that later on in a moment as well. Either way, we have seen some big announcements for Kaspa as well regarding Marathon, regarding some more Bitcoin Maxi news and whatnot. Equally, some very big macro and fundamental news as well. So we'll get into the market, the outlook, the what's to look out for, and then also the rest of the information for the stream. So if you enjoy the content, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Don't be emotional, be logical. What's happening right now is short-term volatility, short-term FUD, but the markets will inevitably recover still. Welcome back everyone to the stream once again. Double D, bro. Welcome back, brother. And you too, Greg. What's up, my man? Stuntomo, yo to you too. The only two places I can listen is in my car and when I'm DMing in Counter-Strike. That being said, listen to every stream. Very much appreciate that, Stuntomo, and that takes me back, honestly. Playing CS in DMs takes me back. I have not done that in a very long time. I think it's been about a year or two now since I played CS. I kind of dropped after I dropped it after CS2. I just didn't enjoy CS2, and there's so many hacks in that game now. They completely ruined it. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy the content. I saw your Crypto's Cruise video on Mara. Everything will come in time. Those who know how to wait. You're completely right. You're completely right. Marathon have, as we already know, been mining Kaspa since September 2023. They publicly announced it in June of 2024 or July of 2024, just before the big Kaspa dump happened. Around here, Marathon announced they were actually and have been mining Kaspa since September 2023. And then Kaspa, they continue to sell off Kaspa bit by bit every month, to the point now where we got into the new year of 2025, and they have now removed the name Kaspa from their balance sheet, but they still say other digital assets, and the only other asset they mine aside from Bitcoin is Kaspa. Now, why they removed the name of Kaspa, only they know themselves, but they are still mining Kaspa. They've upgraded to 10 BPS as well, so again, I'm sure they'll end up singing Kaspa's praises again once again very soon, once all the big announcements come out and the price of Kaspa does very well in the coming months ahead and years to follow. Now, do pump videos out like crazy, really impressive. Yeah, your crypto crew is, you know, an absolute legend. So shout out to him, definitely. Now we are waiting for the PCE, the tariff and labor market report. Yeah, precisely right now. PCE tomorrow is going to be very important. We're going to get into what was stated from Jerome Powell in literally 2 minutes, and then we're going to indicate, and then we're going to, you know, correlate to what was stated, and then trying to come to the understanding that the next two PCE inflation reports now are extremely important, because there are multiple inflation metrics you use out there. You've got CPI, you've got the true inflation, but the Fed tend to prefer PCE. And right now, PCE is around 2.6%, which is still quite low. True inflation is about 2%. There is cause to worry about tariffs starting to increase inflation once again. And we are seeing inflation start to make a small rally. So tomorrow's inflation report is going to be very important. And that will change potentially how the Fed perceive what's going to happen in September. Good afternoon, Packard Bro, you're doing very, very well. If no rate cuts, maybe the next one will be bigger than expected. Potentially, but also potentially not. But we'll get into exactly why in a moment. Did you punch the ball? Nah, I was expecting this much, truth be told. I wasn't expecting such a hawkish stance from Jerome Powell, truth be told, but I wasn't expecting any rate cuts, so I'm not too fussed by it. I don't think Mara is still mining. They have just a little more than they did in December 2024. I mean, they could be mining it and just off-balancing it, you know? They could just be mining it and off-balancing it, so you never know. You never know. Either way, it's still on their balance sheet, so it's still there. 2029, Wealth Ranger, the Fudster, the bot that's back once again. Welcome back, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well. 2029, who knows? Welcome back, Andy, bro. Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. Got 25 more. Kaspa, keep stacking that bag, bro. Now is the time you buy these dips indeed while the markets are correcting. Are we coming back again? We will in due time. We are still early, 100%. Timmy Tim, we are 100% still very, very early. Now, that being said, let's get into what was announced from Jerome Powell. So here's the summary from the Fed decision as of today. The Fed, understandably, as we already expected, left rates unchanged for the 5th straight meeting. Fed voted 9-2 to keep interest rates unchanged. An indicator suggests growth of economy is moderated. So inflation in the United States remains somewhat elevated. It's still starting to rally a little bit, hence why they're not cutting rates apparently. Unemployment rate remains low and labour market is solid. Waller and Bowman distant, preferring. So you got some of the people within the Fed, being Waller and Bowman, who prefer at least one rate cut, but they were the two here who voted for it as opposed to everyone else who said no. And the Fed pause continues even as Trump calls for a 300 basis point rate cut. Of course, Trump has been very, very vocal, especially after we saw the earlier report, to which many of you may not know, or you may already know. I'm trying to remember when I announced it. Actually, no, I announced it earlier today. So if you're not part of the VIP and you're not been paying attention to the news channels, then you may not know this already. But earlier today, we also received the report for GDP growth, which, if you should remember, last quarter, we had the first negative GDP growth in a very, very long time, which, if you get back-to-back negative GDPs, that's an indicator of us being in a recession. But not just did we come out from a negative GDP, we surpassed it and surpassed expectations. So that's a very, very good sign. The economy in the United States is growing again, which is good news. Now, I covered it in more detail in the VIP, so you want to find out the actual ins and outs of what this will therefore mean for us, then definitely tune in. You can join for free for 7 days or for a month if you just want to BYDFI, the affiliate link down below. But we had that report earlier, which is very, very good, which leaves us optimistic. Now, the only problem is with that good report, it does therefore give more room for the Fed to again remain on the sidelines because the economy is not going towards a recession anymore. So they don't need to cut rates to alleviate that. And then we had the Fed not cutting rates again, and a statement that basically just stated, that the Fed is looking through inflation by not hiking. So we've made no decisions about September. So the way Jerome Powell kind of held himself and what he stated was a very bold statement. Again, a bold statement that kind of once more told us that they are in no hurry to cut rates. Now, of course, there are some, two Fed members dissenting, showing that they're growing divide with the Fed. There still definitely are members of the Fed who are trying, who are saying we do need rate cuts now. But for the most part, the large majority are still saying no, 9-2. So no rate cuts was expected, but it's the tone of Jerome Powell, which was quite hawkish, which made it seem like, if you look at the CME Fed Watch now, which I'm loading up right now, the odds of us seeing rate cuts in September was sitting at above 50%, and now, as of September now, was actually still above 55%. Right? No, it's actually come down. So it's come down. It was originally higher chance of seeing rate cuts, and now for the first time, rate cuts September has come below 50% at 45% chance now. So As a result, therefore, with how Jerome Powell held himself, investors now aren't expecting rate cuts, which is why we've seen the markets correct, because people expect rate cuts to, as a necessity for the market to pump. But I once more want to reiterate and highlight to you watching, we don't need them. We want them, and they'd be fantastic, but we don't need them. Look at the 2017 cycle for Bitcoin, where Trump was first in office. This cycle back here, of course, much smaller market cap. We saw an absolutely insane rally during this period from September to December in this period here, and even then before that, the whole year, we saw an absolutely insane rally here without any rate cuts. There are no rate cuts in this bull cycle. And right now, we're at all-time highs with Bitcoin, all-time highs with stocks, all-time high with bonds, all-time high with all the major markets, your gold, your S&P 500, your Bitcoin, they're all nearing all-time highs. If not out, they're seeing a small pullback right now. But even then, Bitcoin came back, I think it was like 1.5% off the back of the meeting from Jerome Powell, and it's already made a recovery back to only minus 6.1% now. So it's not doing too badly, and we've seen a very good one for Bitcoin so far, still nearing all-time highs, which is an indicator, therefore, we do not need rate cuts. Look at the M2 money supply. Despite the Fed that has been very, very, bearish, standoffish, the M2 money supply is an indicator of the global liquidity, which is still very high. Of course, it's come down sharply right now, so it will indicate a peak around October time, as some people have been saying. Maybe it does happen. Who knows? But right now, the global economy still suggests we're going to be seeing a continual rally. So off the back of this news, we could expect maybe a pullback, and then again Bitcoin to make that push to catch up to the M2 money supply back to 130k and beyond. I do think once we do break above the current top for Bitcoin being at around 123k, the next push will be above 130k. When that happens, we don't know. It might be in August, it might not be. It will heavily depend on tomorrow's PCE report, the inflation data, unemployment claims, and also on August 1st when Trump reinstates his tariffs again, which there's still a lot of uncertainty around it, a lot of fuzz. So how the markets will react to that will also set up how August is going to be in regard to a market. Is it going to be a very just choppy sideways market throughout August, or is it going to be one that starts showing a bit of strength or a bit of weakness? Again, I have to pay close attention to it, and of course those who are part of the VIP, you're kept up to date in real time about what we think is going to happen, thanks to our experienced traders like C Crypto in there as well, and the weekly live streams we put in there every single day, every single week as well. So if you want to find out more, again, VIP down below in the description and also on my homepage as well. But don't take this as a panic sell event. It's not. It's a time once more, in my belief, to buy the dips. You're seeing a lot more coming out in regards to great macro news. These are the key points from the White House digital report. Seized Bitcoin will stay on the US Treasury balance sheet. They were thinking about selling it and they're not going to keep it. The Fed is prohibited from launching a CBDC, which is good news. The banks are required to serve crypto businesses without regulatory bias or discrimination. So this is a very, very big deal for increased crypto adoption and, more seamless just interoperability and use case of crypto for its adoption to grow more and more. The SEC has approved in-kind redemptions of Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, which allows shares to be swapped directly with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So previously with ETFs, you'd have to exchange it with USD, dollars, but you can now exchange it with Bitcoin and Ethereum, the ETF. So it's meaning that crypto is actually getting utilized more as that actual unit of account and mean of exchange element, which is a big thing for this asset class growing more in regards to being accepted as money. It's a very, very big deal instead of cash. You've got this announcement here. JP Morgan recently launched its JPMD deposit token on Coinbase's Base public blockchain, which marks a pivotal moment in the digital asset transformation of finance. This initiative represents the first time the world's largest bank, being JP Morgan, is leveraging a public blockchain for its operations, setting a significant precedent for the industry. They're leading. You'll see many, many more follow in suit, so they can now do instant settlements at any time of the day, significantly reducing traditional delays, faster liquidity for asset managers, enhancing efficiency in capital markets, and streamline global money movements, simplifying cross-border transactions. This is a very big deal, and of course it comes out straight, we had the Genius Act passed on the 18th. It's been almost 2 weeks. That's it. In the span of 2 weeks since passing stablecoin legislation, you've got JP Morgan now launching their JPMD. You've seen Bank of America saying they've heard from many other big asset managers and banks they're going to plan to start launching stablecoin services very, very soon as well. Mass adoption isn't coming. They don't care about the monetary policies as much as retail investors tend to do. They do care about it, of course, but at the same time, they're not caring about it in the sense of, oh, bad macro data, we're going to sell on your head all the time. They see a true vision, a true game plan with crypto, all going into Ethereum first, and then eventually transitioning into the better platforms, the better chains, be it the XRP ledgers, or be it the Algorands, the XLMs, the Sui chains, whatever they perceive being the better one. Kaspa hopefully will be one that will be considered by institutions. You've got people like Marathon who are mining them. You've got Zodia who are working alongside them. You've got the KEF and Casplex who have been talking to the likes of Circle, USDT Tether, talking to other blockchains as well to get them incorporated. They do know of Kaspa. You're seeing more Bitcoin maximalists talking about Kaspa. You're going to see big institutions start talking about Kaspa inevitably, in my belief. Now, how long? Who knows? Who truly knows? But it will come in due time. Everyone's going to Ethereum right now because it's the kind of biggest ecosystem. They'll go there, and eventually they'll start branching out into the more effective and more efficient protocols. BlackRock's bought another 58,560 Ethereum, so $223 million just yesterday. Ethereum, publicly traded FG Nexus, has raised $200 million for Ethereum Treasury strategy as well. Dr. HyperX here says that the Ethereum Treasury playbook will end badly, and my perception of what he's saying there is that, well, Ethereum is still highly volatile, and because it's not like Bitcoin in the store of value element, has infinite supply, then yeah, you're going to probably see Ethereum again. It's not scalable, it's not effective. People are going into Ethereum right now for a treasury because it's number 2 and because it's the biggest place for stablecoins, but it's not the best place for it. It's currently the biggest place for it, but it's not the best. So that's going to flip on its head very, very quickly, and that could potentially be a black swan waiting to happen. But we are seeing, off the back of this negative kind of hawkish meeting, still all the real developments that's taking place that lets you know what's coming to the space, they're still continuing. They're not stopping for a second. SEC unlocking more, JP Morgan getting in more, White House getting in more. Information we cover in the VIP as well has documents from KPMG, from Deloitte, from JP Morgan, from all over the place. Massive institutional documents that covers exactly what's coming to the space, and then some, for the next few months, the next few years. That's why none of us in there are remotely panicking about what's happening. We know what's happening, we're prepared for it, and we're allocating our portfolio accordingly. So if you want to find out more to get ahead of the game, to know what's coming to the market, and I guess alleviate your FUD and your worry, check out the VIP 7-day free trial, or again, thanks to our working together with BYDFI, in exchange of no KYC, no VPN, and regulated in Canada and the United States and many more regions. Sign up to the affiliate link, or check out the free Discord server and view the Get access channels, and you can get 17% discount on all future trading fees, a 1-month free trial to the Coin Factory executive channel here, or equally permanent VIP access to the BYDFI channels in there as well, so you can get along with all the trades I'm posting in there as well. Links down below in the description or in the Discord server again. And if you need any help getting yourself set up, then by all means reach out to me on Discord and I'll help you out where I can. But that's the macro, and that's the market sentiment, and despite that negative news, the markets are already making a bit of recovery off the back of that. Again, Kaspa now, still down 2.32%, but look at how much it was down earlier. It came down considerably earlier off the back of that. It was down on like 7%, and now it's already back up. Trying to regain back up to 9.5 again, which is good. It's good. It's showcasing once more that investors are not getting as panicky about this, because they understand that the current markets are already near all-time highs. We don't need rate cuts. It'd be helpful, and definitely helpful on more big altcoin pump, but we don't need them. The only thing that I am concerned about, in truthness, which I did mention to my VIPs as well, is that there has been a case in the past where, because there have been no rate cuts, and then the first rate cuts come through, that actual first rate cut ends up indicating the market top. So, honestly, at this point, for how late we are being, if we don't get rate cuts in September, I pray they take a lot longer to come through, because the first time we get them, that might be that market top indicator. But again, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Dump is bullish, total manipulation to shake out the plebs. 100% Octo Plus. 100%. At the end of the day, those who are selling right now don't understand macro trends. They don't understand what we talk about in here. They don't understand what we talk about in the VIP in more detail. They don't know what's coming to this. They don't understand that this is simply just a noise level event, and this is all the big stuff taking place right now. The game plan's not changed. It's just been delayed. So these are opportunities to maximize your benefits and buy these dips. Those who bought the dips right now, like Andy did, shout out to you. What is your thoughts on Crash with his message for Toshi? Do I like the kid? I think I saw you put that in the community. I've not looked through it properly. And I don't follow the meme coin at all either. So I don't particularly have an opinion on that. If you want to hold it, go for it. If you don't like the message, then block the individual, or just make sure you're allocated accordingly. I did see it briefly, you posted it in there, but I don't have much of an opinion on it. You mentioned about Toshi's biggest accomplishment is getting a Coinbase listing and still trading at only a third of the market cap of the #1 meme on base. Meme communities are always very, very hateful and spiteful. So I wouldn't pay too much mind to it, but again, do your own research. What's next on Kaspa, on the chart for Kaspa for the short term and long term? It's a good question. Well, it will depend. This week is still a big week. When I say big week, it doesn't mean we're going to see a big, moon candle this week, but it means it's going to be a big week to set up how the medium term is going to look and the short term. So again, we've got PCE tomorrow, and we've got Trump's tariffs going live on Friday, alongside the labour market report as well. All coming out around the same time. So that will be, depending on the macro, what's announced, that will either showcase more strength in the economy, which is good, but also they could indicate less chance of rate cuts, or it showcases a little bit of weakness, but enough to maybe cause not concerns, but higher possibility of rate cuts. If you see inflation coming down, that's good. If you see job market, kind of staying equal, then equally that's good. We have to wait and see exactly what the reports come out. In that regard, right now, I'm still, again, kind of being a bit cautious, if you will, regarding Trump's tariffs. Just kind of keep an eye on it, because we are seeing some tariffs coming through and potential trade wars kind of brewing, if you will. Of course, them delaying with China's a big deal, China being the second biggest economy. I suspect we'll probably see the markets kind of continue in this fashion. Might see a bit more of a correction. If this week ends up being a bit more bearish in the reports coming out, might see a correction for Bitcoin down to maybe sub 115k or so, maybe below here somewhere, and then we'll see it make a recovery to 130k. And if that happens, then Kaspa, of course, will likely follow in suit, come down maybe to 9 cents, maybe 8 point. I'll be surprised if Kaspa goes below here, and it can happen, of course. But there seems to be another critical level of support for Kaspa here. So we'll see Kaspa therefore hold that here, which therefore means we're still forming this next form of, higher low pattern here. And then we'll see Kaspa make that move up, knowing that at the end of August we'll see smart contracts coming out. We're going to see more announcements coming out regarding Kaspa as well from other projects. Labs testnet's going to be going out early August as well. We might see smart contract, stable contracts coming on Kaspa soon after the Casplex launch. And September still could be quite a big month if we do get the passing of the the Clarity Act, which we're hopeful right now. Right now, considering that the Clarity Act passed through the Senate in a very bipartisan manner, they expected 30, I think it was 35 Democrats to vote in favor, and it was 75 or something like that, 76, 78, which is a very, very good sign that they actually agree with the Clarity Act, therefore meaning that when the Clarity Act goes through to the Senate now, it will likely be voted for in favor and therefore sent to Trump's desk, which would be a good thing, and that would be a big catalyst for Kaspa as well, I believe. So to draw it out on a chart, I suspect Kaspa might continue. Again, we'll have to wait and see this week. Again, I haven't got a crystal ball. No one has a crystal ball. It depends how this week's going to pan out. If we get favourable inflation and job report data and tariff news, we'll see probably the market make a bit of a recovery. Kaspa might continue to trade above 9 cents for a bit again, holding here and then make a move up. If it's the other way, we'll see Kaspa come back down, maybe down here, and start trading down here for a bit. I'll be surprised if it goes below 8 cents, considering this is another bit. I mean, you can see here, on numerous occasions where it trades very, very well around here. So I'll be very surprised if we see that there. If it comes back below here. And then going into August, I think you'll see Kaspa kind of trade, maybe trying to make some kind of trading cybers for a bit, being quite boring, maybe preparing for that move above 13 cents. Going towards the end of August when smart contracts are about to come out, considering that we saw this massive spike here when smart contract the date was announced and confirmed. So when we actually then come live, you might see a bit of FOMO leading up to that, causing Kaspa to break above 13 cents, going to 15 cents maybe as well. And then from that point onwards, again, you'll likely see much more coming to Kaspa regarding maybe tier 1 listings, some stable coins launching on there as well, more projects being kind of visual and available for you to see as well, and start actually using Kaspa as well, seeing more trades happening on Kaspa as well. So again, I think right now I think again it heavily depends on the next 2 or 3 days, and then after that, if data is favorable, then you might see a bit of. I think for the most part, August might be quite boring. But again, it depends because the tariffs are the outlier right now. Tariffs are the big outlier. But that being said, let's get into more of the content now before we get into more of the questions. So regarding Kaspa right now, that big week incoming that CSWAP was mentioning about, they have now confirmed that their public beta is live, which is really, really good for them. After weeks of building, testing, and refining with the help of our early partners and testers, we're excited to open CSWAP to the public, which is very, very cool stuff. So now you can swap assets across multiple dexes through one seamless interface. So it's great stuff to see from CSWAP. It's basically like OpenSea, I'd imagine, therefore. You can see how it kind of looks here. So again, if you want to have a look at that, the first DEX aggregator on Igra Labs and Casplex. So shout out to CSWAP for that. They'll be going live therefore with Casplex mainnet and with Igra mainnet as well, and on the Igra testnet in the next few weeks as well. So this is great stuff for them. So great stuff. Again, seeing more building happen to Kaspa is going to be very, very good for seamless interactions and exchange, which makes things a lot easier for people to use. And then, of course, one of the headlines today being Marathon, which we can see here. Marathon early update as of June 30th. 30 million other digital asset or Kaspa holdings worth $2.26 million. So basically, of course, we know Marathon used to have Kaspa on their balance sheet. It used to say Kaspa here. It's now over to other digital assets, but Marathon don't mind anything else besides Bitcoin. So why they remove Kaspa's name here, no one knows. No one knows, but they don't mind anything else besides Kaspa. So other digital assets can only mean Kaspa. So they're holding that on their balance sheet. You can see the fair value, you can see the cost basis, you can see how much they're holding in total effectively. You can see a bit more of a breakdown for Kaspa Daily here. Marathon Holding quarterly report shows Kaspa Mining. Marathon Holdings has released its quarterly report, shareholder report. While the report focuses primarily on Bitcoin, the company's core mining assets, an interesting detail appears under the balance sheet section, listing other digital asset mining revenue. Although Kaspa is not mentioned explicitly, it's probably known that Kaspa is the only other crypto actively mined by Marathon Holding. This subtle line may confirm that Kaspa is part of Marathon's mining operation and maybe their long-term strategy therefore. You can see here, the holdings have grown over the past 6 months compared to the end of 2024. Not considerably, but you can see here, we have Kaspa here. You have the quantity here as well. They had 5,624 as their cost basis, and they had 34 million Kaspa, and now the cost basis is 5,836, so it's gone up a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit either way. So definitely holding a lot more Kaspa in the past 6 months. It means they're still mining it. They may be offsetting it still to try and still kind of make money. They did offset a lot of Kaspa. They had a lot more originally. They had over 100 million Kaspa at one point. They offset a lot of that, setting it off. So it means right now they maybe are still mining quite a lot of it, but they're offsetting it as well, sending it back to exchanges and whatnot. It suggests the company has slowed down selling its mined Kaspa, opted to hold a share of its production, or it means they are still mining a lot of it, but they're just offsetting it and selling it. But either way, they're still starting to hold a little bit more bit by bit while Kaspa is at these low prices right now, which is interesting. Again, showing that, and we know Marathon, their biggest shareholders are the likes of BlackRock, Vanguard, Jane Street, these big institutions. So when the question comes to Kaspa's not going to get any adoption, you've got Marathon mining Kaspa. BlackRock, biggest shareholder, Marathon can't do anything without their shareholders go ahead, the green light from the shareholders. So by that logic, BlackRock and these big institutions, the Vanguards, the Jane Street, the JP Morgans, they know of Kaspa, no doubt. They haven't adopted Kaspa publicly or anything like that, but why would they? You're not going to express your strategies ahead of time, are you? Think about Larry Fink, who was saying on mainstream media for months and months and months and months and months, all the way up to the very day, he was saying, our clients have no interest in Bitcoin. We're not going to launch Bitcoin ETFs. The very day before, BlackRock filed for Bitcoin ETF in June 2023. June 2023. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, stated they are not looking at Bitcoin at all. They have no desire for it. Literally days or weeks up to defining it publicly. They're not going to express they're not going to, out their strategy to you ahead of time. So these big institutions, they do know of Kaspa. Now it's still very much, under the radar. Very much under the radar. Kaspa is still widely unknown, as Kaspa confirmed at the My Blockchain Week in Malaysia. When he was speaking about Kaspa, the large majority of the public and the community and the audience had no idea of Kaspa. It's currently 41 on CMC, which is still a top 50 asset therefore. It was top 20 at one point. It's got 86 million 24-hour trading volume, 2.49 billion market cap. Still hasn't got the major exchanges, which it does need. It does need the Binance and Coinbase to get significantly more price and adoption. But at the same time, for me, they will come through in a matter of time. It's just a matter of when, for me, not a matter of if. And you're seeing again these big companies who are still taking note of Kaspa, mining it. And you'll see many more. Circle again are talking to the KEF, so Circle do know of Kaspa as well. Tether know of Kaspa as well. Binance have leaked Kaspa multiple times. Coinbase have been talking with KEF and the Kaspa Wolfie team as well. Now we don't get many updates about them because they don't tell Kaspa, the people who are these self-proclaimed business leaders, when they're going to list the project. But they're working with them. Binance are still actively talking and testing Kaspa with the tech team. They're still asking questions about it. So it will come through. Marathon still mining is a very big deal, showcasing once more that these big Wall Street institutions still take note of Kaspa and they still want Marathon to hold it on their balance sheet. They still think it's worthwhile holding. I mean, seeing again some big inflows happening. Wallet 5, 7.5 million Kaspa from Kraken today, which we can look at that here on the top addresses right now. Got 539,000 addresses right now holding Kaspa. We've seen quite a lot of inflow today from the big wallets. Of course, could be selling. Wallet 5 of 7.5 million Kaspa, so 700,000. Look a little bit closer, we can see it's coming through Kraken's wallet here. And of course, we can take a dive into see exactly how much it's costing and how quick it is. Once more, a testament to why Kaspa is so unique. 0.6 seconds, costing 0.001 Kaspa, and a total amount of 8 million Kaspa transacted. So this transaction cost $755,000, and it cost less than a cent and took less than a second. There's no other chain in this space that can achieve that. It's not speculation, it's a matter of fact. So people will end up taking note of that. With smart contracts coming out and more building coming to Kaspa, it will be very worldly renowned and known. And Kaspa will get more adoption through its tech and through community spreading the word about Kaspa. More Bitcoin maxis getting involved in Kaspa. Which actually we have a video about that I wanted to showcase here as well. It's from Jack Dorsey, very well renowned in the crypto space, who publicly stated in an interview what we've been saying all along about Bitcoin and Kaspa, that Bitcoin eventually, unfortunately, it likely will fail because of its irrelevancy, because Bitcoin is a store of value. But the incentive for you to continue mining Bitcoin to keep it relevant is to mine it for the cost. But if you're not actually exchanging or spending or using it for everyday payments, there's no need to have Bitcoin. It becomes irrelevant. Kaspa, as the Kaspa Media highlights here, which we all agree with, it's the only solution. Because Kaspa, while having that store of value element to it, like Bitcoin does, it will end up proving that. I mean, if you look at the Kaspalytics, and you look at the inactive addresses right now, you can see many people right now who are still utilizing it, Kaspa, as a store of value. Look how many people, 3 months inactiveness. 3 months inactiveness right now. Look how many people are still holding it. 6 months. 1 year. 2 years. Going up higher. 3 years. People are utilizing Kaspa right now as a store of value, just holding on to it. They're still holding on to it, so Kaspa has that element to it, while having that potential unit of account coming through very, very soon. And also, the big part that Bitcoin cannot achieve is for everyday payments as medium of exchange. Listen very closely here to Jack Dorsey, and we can break this down a little bit more so in a moment.
It just ends on.
So let's fast forward to the future, and Bitcoin has failed. How did it fail?
I think it fails through irrelevance. Like it fails to be relevant to people on a daily basis. If it just ends up being store of value and nothing more, I don't think it gains relevance at all. Like I think it has to be payments for it to be relevant on the everyday. Otherwise, it's just something you kind of buy and forget and only use in emergency situations or when you want to get liquid again. So I think if it doesn't transition to payments and find that everyday use case, it just gets increasingly irrelevant.
I do apologize because that video is extremely quiet, but I physically cannot turn it up more if I tried. But I mean, he's got a point. He's got a point. Now, I do somewhat agree with Ryan down here, which is that maybe Bitcoin won't go into complete irrelevancy. I mean, Jack says it does here. He does say it here that it may only be used as an emergency. I mean, think about it. Gold is only really heavily bought up in case of emergency. When there's, right now, with the dollar currently collapsing, gold has seen increasingly more investments. With the economy in shambles worldwide, gold is going up. So Bitcoin may very well become this digital gold. And therefore, it will be utilized in the exact same way. But even then, you don't use gold for anything besides just holding. You don't use it for anything else. If you want to utilize something properly and get continuous, it's Kaspa. Right now, the kind of so-called clear answer is Kaspa. Being the same as Bitcoin, but having the speed, scalability to be utilized at a medium of exchange. You have got some big interviews coming up very soon. Vlad hosts the best podcast on Bitcoin. You've got next week happening something with Maud and somebody else as well from Alpium. So there's going to be an interview happening there, followed by another one following week. You've got some more here. And then you've got Son Polinsky himself, apparently. There's going to be an episode, an interview with our founder, if you will, Son Polinsky, in the coming weeks, in about a month from now or so, which is really, really cool. It'll be interesting to see what happens right now. And I do believe, and they're saying here, episode 2039 will be your best and most listened to ever. And I can attest to that, because you think about Binance, for example. Binance Live or Binance Square Spaces, they've had a numerous number of interviews there, and they all range from like 7 to 10k, give or take. There's information, by the way, available on my Discord server. You go check it out there. They did their back to India, where they finally got permission to start trading in India again, which had like 40, 50k. Their first space regarding Kaspa, potential mining and lifting opportunities, that had like 80k views. So it had like 10 times more than the average, and still have 20k more than their most viewed stream to date. So there's no doubt that this one from Polinsky here will likely be one of the best Vlad has ever had, and he'll hopefully learn a lot from there as well. And I do urge and hope, not that people are going to be here at Bitcoin Max, but I do urge and hope that Bitcoin Maxis will also tune in. We've seen a lot of FUD still from Bitcoin Maximalists who, the crazy part to me is a lot of Bitcoin Maxis actually who have been FUDding Kaspa have been publicly admitting they haven't done a single shred of research into Kaspa either. They're just hating on it because it's not Bitcoin, which I think is ridiculous. You're actively, purposely feigning ignorance because it's not Bitcoin, which I think is completely striving away from the original premise of why you got into Bitcoin in the first place. If you research into it and found the reasons for getting into it ahead, as opposed to dollars, which is the fiat, you'll see many more hopefully start to take account and look at Kaspa, Bitcoin Maximalist as well, and that will help more for Kaspa price going up as well in the future to come. This is going to be a very interesting interview, so I'm going to tune in. Hopefully you all will as well, and I'll be covering this probably in a video at some point as well. But it's great stuff all in all. And again, just to quickly go on another sidebar before I get to some questions real quick, I mentioned this already. Here you've got Octaspace right now, who are continuing to expand more and more. They bought a KNS domain, so they look like they're teasing Kaspa payments coming very, very soon, which I think smart contracts will be the kind of catalyst for that. And they've now also partnered with Zebek as well, where they will now be able to strategically bridge DeepIn and Zebek's real-world crypto payment products, which is great. So Octa, they're going for the small projects right now, being Zebek and Kaspa in a sense, well, small quote-unquote, but right now I say that Octa is probably going into the right spaces. Kaspa definitely, and I think Zebek has got, with their governmental partnerships and their institutional partnerships with the likes of Circle, with JP Morgan, with MasterCard, you know, they've got some huge connections, Zebek. So I think Octaspace right now is definitely in the right places. I've still not actually got into the Octaspace as I look at it right now. Right here. Right now, Octa's down 6.4% on the daily time frame, valued at 47 cents. We did see it come down a lot more here, which it did again, as we drew out yesterday. It did actually reject and come back up from the support here at around 44 cents, 44.67 cents. And I think, again, Octa's going to probably continue trading around this zone for a little bit. We might also be seeing that British flag pattern being formed right now. Therefore, you could see a breakout happening soon enough as well. I think Octaspace, I still need to look into it more. I do plan to watch that Ankit XXIM podcast on Octaspace as well, because I'm increasingly starting to believe it might be a worthwhile hedge. Not financial advice, do your own research. But again, my shortcomings with Octa still is just its lack of listings. But I think if it gets some good partnership with some really promising projects, like Zebek, like Kaspa, and many more, it might therefore also bring more dots to the project and therefore incentivize more listings for the project as well. We'll have to wait and see, though. We'll have to wait and see. But let's get into some questions again first and foremost before we get into any more of the content for today. What's about Wing Hong, bro? Did very, very well with Moon yet? No, not today. Definitely not today. But hopefully we'll see that, you know, that recovery soon enough. Caribbean, welcome back. Kaspa EST. Yes, Kaspa is king, no doubt. No doubt indeed. Bring it, Kaspa Kings. You know it, Christopher. Again, Kaspa will prove itself. It's a long, long wait, but it will prove itself, no doubt about it. Our time will come, 100%. And yes, keep buying. As the most notorious Rothschild family states, when there's blood in the streets, that's the time to buy. Blood in the streets, don't buy into the fear. Not the exact quote, but I think we've seen a quote anyways. Welcome back. Bingo, bro. You're doing very, very well. Or Buffalo, even Buffalo. No notification. I don't know why. Sorry for that, bro. But welcome back, bro. You're doing very, very well. Howdy to you too. It will delay until the next bull run. Maybe. There are people right now in my community who are increasingly believing that we may see Kaspa go through its own bull cycle when the market starts correcting into the bear cycle like it did last time. Now, I have no, you know, I don't know that for sure. Kaspa had its first cycle. It's its first cycle right now, and it did very, very well in the bear cycle. Does not mean that Kaspa's going to be starting that. Kaspa's not going to be the anti-market. That would be a very, very weird situation to happen right now. But the reason why I'm not completely against the idea is because the big Kaspa developments, being the DAG Knight and being the native smart contracts, are going to be coming out in 2026, like mid-2026 from the sound of things. I haven't got confirmation of the date just yet, but that's a rough estimate I'm giving right now. If that's the case, therefore, we'll be going into a bear cycle of sorts, so that might end up stemming the bleeding for Kaspa and causing a more immediate reversal, especially if more institutions are getting more and more involved in the space as well. Which again, we'll be doing research constantly into the space. Even after the bull cycle ends, we'll still have our VIP. We'll be talking more about crypto and getting prepared for making the gains into what's coming next as well. Bitcoin trading around the 116k range. I mean, I think, yeah, it's possible Bitcoin can come down a little bit further, but if you hold that, that'd be very, very good. If you can come down a little bit lower, not too bad. Again, by the dips. Could we run in the bear market? Oh, I just spoke about that right now, actually. Again, I'm not too sure. I don't think anybody really knows. We're talking about it a bit more and more now. With what Kaspa's going to be bringing out, it's definitely a possibility. Will it be as amazing as we saw this cycle already for Kaspa? Probably not, because that was absolutely insane. Seeing Kaspa right now currently up, what, from its launch, 50,000% from its launch. That's nuts. And that's, we were higher as well. We were above 100,000 at one point. So maybe we see another kind of bull cycle and a bear cycle for Kaspa again, but it wouldn't be as as impressive. But again, we're positioned accordingly ahead of time, at the very least. But yeah, we've got to have patience, most definitely. Up is the only path. I mean, up is the only path we want. Unfortunately, crashes are part of the life, part of crypto, part of investing, but I do think we'll see more coming. I'm holding until 2030 at least, and then I'll decide if I want to liquidate some. And good stuff, Christopher. I hope it plans out well. I mean, that's kind of similar to my strategy. I do plan to take some profits this cycle, but at the same time probably DCA their profits back into Kaspa in the bear, and then continue holding again, because there's a good possibility the Kaspa just grows more and more. I heard people say Kaspa is a good project, but they don't want to invest in crypto who has already made 0%. What do you think about this? It's understandable, and it's also the biggest way people end up losing. People say the same thing with XRP. Now, XRP, is it going to make insane... I've been hearing that I saw an interview from some Web3 company called Easy A on NYSE, a New York Stock Exchange interview, where they are saying by 2030 XRP should reach $1,000. Now, I don't believe that. That's a bit excessive, because that means you're going to see XRP at a $58 trillion market cap in 5 years. I don't see that happening. I would love to be wrong, because I hold XRP, but I don't see that happening. $1,000 XRP would be a bit much. But the point being is XRP is near all-time highs. Not getting into XRP because it's at all-time highs, while understandable, it's a big asset, and it's most likely going to continue making gains from here, probably above $5 this cycle. So I understand the reasoning for not getting into assets like Kaspa or Sui, but even then with Kaspa, it's still down 50% from all-time highs. It's made a 50,000% gain since the initial launch, but I mean, if it's meant to be this believed of next Bitcoin, so Kaspa's like right now, Bitcoin at $100. Everyone always said, if you go back in time, what would you do? You get Bitcoin when it was $100, get it really, really early. Kaspa could be that next thing. So my response to that is understandable. Just make sure you don't regress it. Because people said the very same about Bitcoin back in the day as well. Lambda cancelled again, pretty much, but I think it's just temporary, hopefully. Such RSI is low, we will stagnate, or I think we might see some boring prices in the market for the next, couple of days, weeks. Again, the next few days still very, very important. PCE, job report, and tariffs, and then probably August going into September will start looking a bit better. The value of my CAS is nearly $1 million. Last time we made it all-time high. That's not good enough for me. Well, grateful to hear, Christopher, honestly, and yeah, hopefully it'll be a lot more in the cycle and cycle to follow that as well. If you're holding it for 2030, then you'll definitely be very, very good. Just with stablecoin, 30 to 50 cents is realistic. I believe so as well. Welcome back, Kryptoni, bro. You did very well. Lamar, what the F? I'm guessing you're referring to the Buffalo thing there. I mean, again, Kaspa could do very, very well the cycle, no doubt. Kaspa hits 60 cents, being optimistic of $1 to $3. Possibly. Don't see why not. When stablecoins on Kaspa, I haven't got a confirmed date just yet. We know that the KF and Kaspex have been speaking to Circle and USDT. There is speculation from them, or leaks from them, that they're going to have a bridged Circle USDC kind of soon enough, probably after the mainnet launch. So if I was to hazard a guess, I'd imagine in Q4, being that August 31st is going to be the launch of Kaspex. Then you've got September, then you've got October starts Q4. So I think you might see stablecoins on Kaspa probably in Q4. I think Q4 is going to be huge for Kaspa. Stablecoins, hopefully stablecoins, hopefully Tier 1 listings, KRI launching their Gigawatt ZTEX and Warp Core. You'll see Igra Labs launching their mainnet as well. Q4 is going to be insane for Kaspa. There's no doubt about that. Quick crypto will get quick after the bull run. I'll buy your wife. Well, thank you very much, Christopher. Hopefully we'll all be laughing and supporting our families or enjoying ourselves with our Kaspa gains after the bull cycle. Mao only mines Kaspa to swap for Bitcoin because it's cheaper than mining Bitcoin. The price has suffered since it started mining Kaspa. The other interest in Kaspa is pure economics. You might be right, Octoplus. You might be right. We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. But at the same time, if they are also researching into Kaspa the same way that you've got some Polinsky or Hans Moog or people like Jack Dorsey who are researching into Kaspa, they'll realize that Bitcoin in the long term will fail or have the possibility of failing, whereas Kaspa has the lackluster institutional adoption but has all the tech there to be superior. They mentioned in the interview with Forbes that they'll continue to mine Kaspa as long as it's possible for them. So yes, it is pure economics right now, but that again, if it ends up being more possible for them, smart contracts coming out big projects coming to Kaspa as well, more building on Kaspa, more volume. They'll end up just mining Kaspa as an alternative to Bitcoin, or more likely than Bitcoin, or more so than Bitcoin. Welcome back, Gosu, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome to the stream, my man. Yo, Wyatt. Kaspa is going to shock the world. The sleeping giant will soon awaken. I do believe. Hopefully soon enough. I see you put Octa on your thumbnail. Yes. Because Octa seem to be connected. I mean, it's quite convenient, actually, that I speak on Kaspa constantly. Start speaking on Trebek in the last, few months, few weeks. And Octo have been working with both projects now, seemingly. So, coincidence, maybe not. But I do think Octa is a project that is worth looking into. I'm still looking into it myself, so I'm not saying too much on it, but I think Octa could be a good project to look into. But they're very, very small, so it's a bit of a risk. Octa's Base was an early Crypto Galaxy pick, but he dropped it because he said he wouldn't get exchange listings. Yeah, I do remember seeing, I think it was Crypto Archie and Crypto Galaxy talk about Octa, months and months and months back. I don't see Crypto Galaxy mention it anymore. I don't know about Crypto Archie anymore. And I understand not talking about it. Again, it's lackluster listings. Like, I think for the most part, Octa does have a lot going for it in regard to it being decentralized, in regards to it being decentralized, in regard to it working with Trebek and Kaspa, seemingly great for it, honestly. But only having Mexi, Gate, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and CoinX, pretty much, it's not enough. And therefore, if it does, the partnership it's getting with the other projects is good. But its price pump, their cycles are going to always be lackluster without big halo. That's the same thing with Kaspa. If it does not get Binance or Coinbase, its pump will be lackluster. It can still be good. It's a big project. It's a top 50 as opposed to a top 900. But it'll be lackluster. So Octa for me is something that I'd probably hedge a very small money about, because especially with something like Octa, you've got 18 mil market cap. This fundamentally means when the bull cycle takes off properly, this next leg up, and the money cycles into the altcoins, there are always going to be assets that miss out on the pump because they're too small. Octa could be one of them. Hopefully it won't be if you do hold it, but it could be one of them. So you've got to be very careful about it. And they're not getting exchange listings. I don't know why too much, but that could be a concern. We'll have to wait and see though. We have to take risks with Octa. Not a lot of listings, but we have. I mean, I wouldn't say we have to take risks. We don't have to take risks with Octa. That's not what I'd say at all. I'd say if you are willing to take the risk, then it might be worth your while. But again, keep in mind that because it's not got big listings, it may just miss the cycle. If it gets listings, then fantastic, you position accordingly. But it's a very small asset, and because it's so small, you'll see what you typically see. You'll have the big asset, the big caps, the mid caps, the small caps, and the micro caps. And the money always goes from the big caps, the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, into the mid caps, your Suis, your Taos, your Polkadots, your Kaspers. You're going to the small caps, which will come to your I'm trying to think any small caps right now. I'll just scroll down. Find something here. Your small caps, which could be anything, I'd say sub around here. So yeah, something like Jasmine, maybe IOTA. Virtuals will go into that as well. Sonic could be a good play as well, and that I've heard about Sonic. I don't trust them. I'm just saying that I've heard of them and assets that I think could do quite well. So you'll see the money go from the big caps into the mid caps into the small caps, and then it goes to the micro caps, which would then be your Octas. But again, some micro caps won't even catch the cycle. So you've got to be careful. Do your own research. Trade your discretion. Welcome back, KJI. Let's go indeed, brother. Welcome back to the streamer, man. Satoshi launched Kaspa one day after 2021 Bitcoin top. You can see a pump in the bear market. Wouldn't it be a bad thing to see, honestly? Wouldn't be bad at all. Say is strangely calm. He's dumping slowly without noise. I mean, yeah, Say is made a bit of a rally from that dip down here in April. Then it came back down again in June, and then it's been doing a nice little push from there, seen almost a 2.5-3x from there. Now coming down slowly from there. But I mean, despite me not holding Say anymore, because I fundamentally don't trust a project with infinite supply. And well, again, proof of stakes are technically all infinite supply, but projects that actually say on, like, although apparently I was told it was a mistake on CMC's side of things, but either way, I still think Say's got a lot going for it and could still do quite well this cycle. It's currently at a critical level of support, as we see here. this line here. You can see on numerous occasions where it has found some support around here. So trading around here is not a bad thing. We can hold that, and hopefully see those who are holding make that move upwards in the coming months or so. I might smart contract with 2-1 listings and follow the announced rate cuts in September. It could be huge, very very big. When some Polinsky on the live stream, I mean, that I need to reach out to hashtag for that to happen, and even then, who knows? Who honestly knows? Because it's also a case of one thing that I'm conscious about. I want to do the interviews with the big people like Wolfie and Michael Sutton and Son Polinsky and those part, and I do plan to one day hopefully get them on here, and that would be a big day for the channel and the community. But I think I have to go face cam before I do that, because despite that you all trust me here and you all seemingly know me and you know that I'm legit, I'm not a bot, I'm not AI, although Mr. Miles will definitely joke about that, and you all will actually. People need to see a face to trust properly. So that's a decision that I have to make. And as Crypto Ghost says, as always, if you enjoy the streams, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Can you check Bitcoin dominance? I can indeed, sir. Bitcoin dominance right now is at 61%. It's starting to rise a little bit, and I do still suspect that Bitcoin dominance could still reach back up to above 65, if not 70% again, possibly. And then you'll see altcoins start to rally more so as well. But again, a good altcoin pump will be when we drop below this trend line right here, which who knows when it's going to happen. But it could happen in August. It could happen in September. Who knows? But Bitcoin dominance right now is 61.6% right now. Can you build a Kaspa-like coin without needing to trim the history? Good question. I think in theory you probably could. Not that I know how to do it. And at the same time, what makes Kaspa unique is the fact that it does have pruning to trim the history. That also helps with its scalability and without getting congested. So in that sense you could, but it would just end up potentially facing some shortcomings for having to go through the whole backlog to the archival node. Doesn't this give us more time to stack more Kaspa? Precisely, Justin. Pretty much, yeah. If you believe Kaspa will do very, very well, which we all do here, then yes, it does mean that. Very much so. I knew I'd get here. I just got an idea. Can you DM Pawn Shop in Las Vegas, where is Vic Harrison, a famous show, and ask him to accept Kaspa payments? Maybe one day, but if he is accepting any form of crypto, if he's not doing crypto payments at all right now, then you know it's what it is. They'll wake up to it. They'll wake up to it. They'll wake up to it. Everyone will start waking up to crypto, to Kaspa as well. Kaspa can reach $2 this cycle? Maybe. It's only a $52 billion market cap. It's not too much. It's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. Marathon playing the long game to obtaining Kaspa daily fees on the network 10 years from now. That people handle billions of people. Marathon could mine Litecoin. I mean, yeah, there's also a possibility that Marathon are using it to offset to Bitcoin, or they're using it for a long-term play to prepare for when Kaspa gets globally adopted and utilized. They're not mining anything else, but they're mining Kaspa. I have checked for putting a Kaspa logo in Times Square. Only $250 for 24 hours and 15 seconds each hour. If we can make it, I think we make a good marketing plan. The problem is that while it would be, I mean, in a sense, yes, but at the same time, I don't think it's as big as you might perceive. I know Times Square is huge, and it'd be very, very visible. But people will just see the logo, unless you can make a really I'm not, despite me being the content creator and my thumbnails, I'm not the most creative person out there, and you've got to be able to create a certain banner in Times Square that's going to tell you everything you need to know about to kind of generate some form of interest. Right now, if you had a Bitcoin logo up there, people would look at it and be like, "Oh, it's Bitcoin." That would generate interest. Kaspa's logo wouldn't get that right now; it's too small. In the future, sure, but right now, if you put Kaspa's logo in Times Square, people would look at it, "Oh, what is that?" They wouldn't know where to start looking. They wouldn't know unless you type in. But then people wouldn't have an idea. So I mean, maybe in the future, but who knows? I can lead the project maybe one day. Time is a good idea to raise for marketing. It's not a bad idea at all. It's not a bad idea at all. I'm not trying to put that down at all. I think it's actually quite a good idea, but I think it's a bit early for it. because it's like, if you've got an idea that's still very, like, Kaspa's still very, very early. It's not got smart contracts yet. It's got no stablecoins on it yet. No tier one, no major tier one listings yet. That marketing would be great for getting more retail adoption, but retail's not even here yet, and most don't know of Kaspa. So, if you get Kaspa more complete than possible. Nobody reads New York Times. Maybe, yeah. I mean, again, the boomers tend to, but who knows? He's totally real, guys. Yeah, exactly. Kryptonian knows I'm totally real. Although that sounded very sarcastic, I can't lie. True, but again, I'm saying it's not a terrible idea, but who knows? Who knows? That being said, though, family, that'll be it for today's Kaspa Crypto live stream. If you enjoyed the content, as always, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Pull back in the market today, as expected. Tomorrow and Friday will be very, very important, so stay tuned. Come check in tomorrow. And yes, I know I speak fast, but I do apologize. I try to slow down at times, but sometimes I can't get ahead of myself. But yeah, if you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to know more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community, equally the VIP, learn more, maximize your crypto gains and your benefits, and also check out the BYDFI affiliate link down below in the description. Have a great day, good evening, and good night, my family, my people, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.